Most boys don't notice the exact moment adolescence begins. There's no announcement, no lesson, and no clear explanation. For Majid, it starts quietly. One day he feels normal, comfortable in his routine, and sure of who he is. Then slowly, almost invisibly, that certainty begins to fade. His body starts feeling unfamiliar. His emotions become harder to control. His thoughts grow louder, more complex, and more confusing. Majid doesn't know it yet, but he has entered a phase of life that will reshape how he sees himself in the world. At first, the physical changes stand out the most. Majid notices that he's growing faster than before. Clothes that once fit comfortably suddenly feel too tight or too short. His arms and legs feel longer, heavier, and less coordinated. He bumps into things more often, feels awkward walking into rooms, and becomes more aware of how others might see him. These changes are normal, but because no one explains them clearly, Majid feels embarrassed rather than prepared. Then there's his voice. It begins to change without warning. Sometimes it sounds deeper, sometimes unstable. There are moments when it cracks unexpectedly, drawing attention he never asked for. Majid starts speaking less in class. He avoids reading out loud. He becomes more self-conscious about being heard. Inside, he wishes someone had told him that this phase is temporary, that his voice isn't betraying him, it's adjusting. As Majid's body changes on the outside, something more intense happens on the inside. His emotions begin to shift in ways he doesn't understand. He feels irritation over small things that never bothered him before. He feels sadness without a clear cause. Sometimes he feels empty, other times overwhelmed. His emotional reactions feel stronger, faster, and harder to control. What Majid doesn't know is that his brain is rewiring itself, especially the parts responsible for emotions, decision-making, and impulse control. Because he doesn't understand what's happening, Majid starts questioning himself. He wonders why he feels angry when nothing is wrong. Why he wants to be alone even when he doesn't feel lonely. Why his mood can change so suddenly. Instead of asking questions, he keeps these thoughts to himself, assuming everyone else has things figured out. One of the biggest challenges Majid faces is silence, not just his own, but the silence around boys' emotions. He notices that when boys express fear, sadness, or confusion, they are often told to be strong or to stop complaining. Over time, Majid learns that certain emotions are acceptable, while others are not. He learns that anger is allowed, but vulnerability is not. So when emotions build up, they come out in ways he doesn't fully understand: frustration, withdrawal, or quiet resentment. At school, new pressures begin to weigh on Majid. Expectations increase. He's expected to perform better academically, behave more responsibly, and plan for the future, even though he still feels unsure about the present. He compares himself to classmates who seem confident, athletic, or socially successful. Some boys seem louder, more assured, more comfortable in their skin. Majid wonders why he feels so behind. Social media adds another layer to this pressure. Majid scrolls through images and videos of people his age who appear confident, successful, and happy. He sees highlight reels, not real life, but his brain doesn't always recognize the difference. He begins measuring himself against unrealistic standards, feeling like he's not doing enough or being enough. During this stage, Majid also experiences new feelings of attraction and curiosity. These feelings are unfamiliar and confusing. He doesn't fully understand them, and no one explains them in a clear, healthy way. He feels curious, sometimes anxious, sometimes unsure of how to respond to these emotions. Fear of judgment keeps him silent. Misinformation from peers and the internet fills the gap where guidance should be. At home, Majid feels torn between independence and support. He wants to make his own decisions, to be trusted, and to feel respected as he grows older. At the same time, he still needs reassurance, boundaries, and guidance. When adults misunderstand this balance, conflicts arise. Majid may come across as distant or stubborn, but inside, he's just trying to define who he is becoming. There are moments when Majid feels deeply alone. Even surrounded by people, he feels misunderstood. He sits quietly, lost in thought, questioning himself. He wonders if these feelings will ever make sense. He wonders if something is wrong with him. What Majid doesn't realize is that millions of boys across the world are asking the same questions at the same age. Gradually, understanding begins to change everything. Majid learns that adolescence is not chaos without reason. It's a period of intense growth, physically, emotionally, and mentally. He learns that discomfort is part of development. That confusion is not failure. That emotions are signals, not weaknesses. Majid begins to realize that growing up isn't about having everything figured out. It's about learning, adjusting, and slowly understanding yourself. He understands that asking for help doesn't make him weak. Talking doesn't make him less of a man. Feeling deeply doesn't mean something is wrong. By the end of this stage, Majid is still growing. He still feels uncertain at times, but he no longer feels broken. He understands that adolescence is a bridge between who he was and who he's becoming. And crossing that bridge is never easy, but it is temporary. If you see yourself in Majid, know this: you are not alone. What you're experiencing is real. What you're feeling is valid. And you deserve understanding, patience, and support as you grow.